Imagine producing so much power that you have to pay your neighbors to take it off your hands. This isn't a dystopian fantasy. This is the reality of modern Germany. According to official data, in 2024 alone, there were over 450 hours where electricity prices on the wholesale market were negative. Producers were literally paying to get rid of their electricity. This bizarre phenomenon is a symptom of a much deeper problem. A problem that exposes the inconvenient truth behind the green energy dream. Today we're using Germany as a case study to uncover the hidden costs of solar panels and why this green revolution might be on the verge of becoming a financial nightmare for millions. If you're a homeowner in the US, the UK, or Canada considering solar, this is a critical warning you cannot afford to ignore. When you buy a solar panel system, you're sold a 25-year promise, a quarter-century of clean, free energy. It's a powerful sales pitch, but it hides a critical flaw, a component designed to fail long before that promise is fulfilled. I'm talking about the inverter. The solar panels on your roof are simple workhorses, but the inverter is the brain of the operation. It converts the direct current from the panels into the alternating current that powers your home. And this brain has a much shorter lifespan than the body. While panels are warranted for 25 years, most inverters are only guaranteed for 10, maybe 12 years. Data from institutions like the Bern University of Applied Sciences shows that the typical life expectancy of a solar inverter is between 10 and 15 years. Their study found that after 15 years, over a third of all inverters had already failed at least once. So, what's the hidden cost here? The replacement. For a typical residential system, replacing an inverter can cost anywhere from $1,000 to over $3,000, including labor, and you will likely have to do it twice over the lifetime of your panels. This is a guaranteed multi-thousand-dollar expense that is often glossed over in sales pitches that naturally focus on the exciting long-term benefits rather than the tedious medium-term costs. This single component fundamentally alters the solar panel ROI calculation, and it's the first, most personal crack in the foundation of the solar dream. But the costs hidden on your roof are nothing compared to the ones buried underground. Germany has been incredibly successful at installing solar panels, but it has failed spectacularly at preparing its grid for them. The German power grid was a 20th century marvel, designed for a few large power plants pushing energy in one direction. It was never built for millions of homes acting as mini power stations, chaotically feeding energy back into the system whenever the sun shines. The result? Chronic indigestion. On sunny, windy days, the grid is overwhelmed with more green energy than it can handle. This is called curtailment. It's a technical term for a simple, wasteful reality. Grid operators are forced to just throw energy away. In the first half of 2025, solar curtailment reached a record 8% in Germany, more than double the level from the same period in 2024. It was produced, but the grid couldn't take it. And when they can't throw it away, they have to perform incredibly expensive emergency interventions called redispatch, just to prevent a blackout. These emergency measures to stabilize the grid are not cheap. The cost of these interventions for German consumers amounted to a staggering 2.8 billion euros in 2024. That's over 2.8 billion euros, not to produce energy, but just to manage the chaos of the green energy that was already produced. This cost is a hidden tax, passed directly on to every German household and business through higher grid fees. So you have hidden costs on your roof and hidden taxes in your grid fees. The situation has become so frustrating that many homeowners are now asking, is this whole thing a solar energy scam? The reality is more nuanced, but no less concerning. The system was built on a foundation of government subsidies. To be fair, for some early adopters who locked in generous long-term subsidies, the calculation might still look positive. But for anyone considering this investment today, the financial landscape has fundamentally and brutally changed. All across Germany, the generous subsidies that made solar attractive are being reconsidered, reduced, or phased out. The green dream was sold as an independent, self-sufficient ideal. But, in reality, it's a system completely dependent on taxpayer money and government stability. When that support wavers, the entire financial model collapses, leaving the homeowner to bear the full, unsubsidized cost. But there is one final, global cost. In its rush to abandon Russian gas, Germany, and indeed all of Europe, walked straight into another geopolitical trap. They simply swapped one dependency for another. Today, over 95% of the solar panels installed in the European Union are imported from China. 95%. This isn't just a trade imbalance, it's a near-total strategic dependency. China dominates every single step of the supply chain, from raw polysilicon to the finished panels. European attempts to build their own manufacturing have been systematically crushed by Chinese state-subsidized companies that can produce panels for 35% to 65% cheaper. Germany wanted energy independence. Instead, it now relies on Beijing for the hardware of its green revolution. It's a strategic vulnerability of staggering proportions, built one rooftop at a time. Germany's solar experiment is a crucial lesson for the rest of the world. It shows what happens when political ambition outpaces engineering reality. So if you are a homeowner in the UK looking at solar panels' hidden costs, or if you're in Canada wondering, is solar worth it in 2026? The German experience offers a clear warning. Before you invest, make sure you ask your installer 3 critical questions. 1. Beyond the panels, what is the guaranteed lifespan of the inverter, and what is the full cost of its replacement? 2. How will grid curtailment in my area affect my personal return on investment? Get them to show you the data. 3. What are the risks to my subsidies and buyback rates over the next 5 years as government policy shifts? Because the promise of green energy is powerful. But as Germany is learning, a dream built on flawed data can quickly become a very expensive nightmare. Here, at the Green Audit, we believe in data, not dogma. If this analysis was valuable to you, subscribe for more.